Hey everyone, it's JC with the Handy Millennial. On today's episode, I am going to dive into the world of tools. I know, I'm going to get a lot of flack from this one, but I'm totally okay with that. My goal here is to do a series on different types of tools and how to use them, what to look for, things you should know about them, stuff like that, just so you get a very basic understanding of the different things out there on the market. So, there's a lot of competition in the world of tools, which is where I'm going to catch the most criticism for what I'm about to say, and I'm totally fine with that. There's a lot of dedicated people to the brands that they purchase, especially if you work in the trades. Most of those people will usually purchase Milwaukee or DeWalt. But just so you know, buy what you can afford. If the tool gets the job done, then it's doing what it's supposed to. So don't be embarrassed. We all have to start somewhere. If you buy an entry level set of tools so that you can start working, I applaud you. You can always work up towards the nicer, more professional grade tools at a later date once you have some paychecks rolling in. So, again, don't feel self conscious about this. We all have to start somewhere. So, one of my very first sets of tools was Cobalt from Lowe's. As you can see, my sticker is peeling off. I don't know, I haven't picked it off yet, but again, it's a very, very basic brand. It has lasted me for years and years and years for things that I've just done around the house. So I purchased this as a whole set. It came with a jigsaw, an impact driver, a drill, a couple batteries, a charger, and a tool bag. So again, use this for a lot of my home DIY projects. I still use this set to this day. I am slowly transitioning over to Cobalt stuff since I don't use my tools all day, every day. I'm not purchasing any of the more expensive brands. So, but today we'll cover drills. So there are a ton of different things out there on the market. Most of the combo sets will come with both an impact driver and a drill driver. So they are often used interchangeably depending on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So just some generic pieces about the drill. They all have various speeds and torque, which is the amount of force that's produced by the tool itself. So this is called the chuck. You loosen and tighten this to hold a bit here in the end. So one thing I do recommend once you're just getting started out is to start at a very slow speed. So look at the top here. This is where you can adjust the torque. There's also usually, fast and slow speed. There should be a switch somewhere that changes it from forward to reverse, and also might have a middle option to lock it so it doesn't engage while it's in your tool bag. That can drain your battery if you don't pay attention. So these are all the basic pieces. Obviously, the battery comes in and out. And this one's pretty old, so it's starting to get a little tricky to do that. So again, turn the torque way down, turn it down to a slow speed until you get familiar with the drill. This also includes using it on the material that you're working on as well. So a lot of times people will not pay attention to that right out of the box. They'll start with a high speed and a high torque, and they'll destroy whatever material that they're working on. Assembling kids' toys, you'll see this. Often it says do not use drill, and softwoods like pine and poplar and things like that. So again, get used to it. You can hold the chuck to loosen it or tighten it, depending on what you're trying to do. You'll see the hole get bigger and smaller as you make that adjustment. So quick and easy way to switch out bits as you're working once you get familiar with the tool. If you have the torque too high and on a very high speed, you'll probably hurt your fingers trying to do that. So just a heads up there as you start to work with your set of tools and get familiar with them. And they're all different. So moving from Cobalt to Ryobi to DeWalt, you're going to have a different experience with those tools. So this is a drill driver. This is a very standard looking drill, and its job technically is to drill holes. Can you use it for other things? Yes, absolutely. It's usually the one thing that you'll find in someone's tool bag is this style of drill. So very common, and lots of different uses for that depending on what you're trying to accomplish. So this is an impact driver. It is not a hammer drill. I do have a hammer drill here that I'll show you in just a second. So impact driver is for fasteners. Its job is to place impact on the actual fastener. Nice part about this is there's usually some kind of quick release mechanism on the end instead of a chuck where you can swap out bits and things like that, depending again on what you're working on. So Impact driver applies the impact to the actual fastener, so it's going to help get that into the wall a little bit faster than some of the other style of drills. So also very universal. You can use this for a lot of different stuff, but that's usually you'll find the drill driver and the impact driver and the tool set together. So switching to a different brand here. This is a Ryobi hammer drill. The nice part about this one, you can see at the top, there's actually 3 different functions for drilling, driving, and the hammer mode. It does have a handle that attaches that you can hold like this, so it gives you a little bit of extra leverage, especially if you're working on concrete. So hammer mode is typically for exactly that. So instead of impact on the fastener, it's going to apply a hammering motion. So again, if you're trying to anchor something down in concrete, this can be very helpful for you to get that fastener situated. So again, it also has a chuck here. You can do the same thing when you're swapping things out. You can see it start to loosen. Put it in, tighten it. Make sure when you're putting in your bits and things that it actually does sit flush with the end of it here and not at an angle. That can cause problems down the road when you're trying to work with your different bits and things. So again, there's different functions on this. Make sure you pay attention to the mode that it's in before you start working. Check to see what speed it's on and what your torque is set at so that you don't go flying through the material when you're working with that. So one thing to keep in mind if you're drilling into concrete, especially foundations, watch out for the rebar. If your bit catches that, your cement bit, it will twist you and your drill around quite a bit until you release. So again, practice on different scrap materials until you get to know your tools. There's a lot of different functionalities and things that they can do, as well as different powers. So a lot of the newer Ryobi kits will come with a couple of different battery options. This is a 1.5 amp per hour battery, so fine for light drilling and fastening screws. If I am looking to use the hammer function, I would likely switch this to my 4 amp per hour battery to give me a little bit more power to accomplish that job. So again, lots of different options here. You can see this is the 4 amp battery. It is a lot bigger in size, lasts a lot longer if I'm doing just basic jobs, but can also provide more power depending on the type of tool that I'm using. So it's a quick rundown on some different drills. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, leave some comments, some likes. Definitely appreciate the feedback. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again soon.